Hey losers, welcome back to a new episode here at Zero Losers Studio. Today I'm going to be talking about how I got into anime in my mid-20s. I had a very weird, complicated relationship with anime. So obviously, everybody's first anime, I guess you could say, if you were born in the late 90s, or if you were born in the 90s at all, was probably Sailor Moon, Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, all those kids WB shows that would always come on Saturday mornings. Or if you watched Toonami, if you had a Cartoon Network. There's little arguments like, it's too westernized for it to be considered anime, but for me personally, that would be my experience. You know, I would always watch Sailor Moon. I had Sailor Moon cassettes. I didn't get into Yu-Gi-Oh! I couldn't. All of the neighborhood kids loved it, and I used to know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards when I was younger, but I was totally a Digimon, Pokemon, Sailor Moon person. I mean, I like Kaiba. I mean, he was pretty cool looking, and Joey, he's pretty cool, but like, I don't know, it just wasn't for me. I had friends growing up that loved anime. And don't judge me, guys. I was a different Boshi back then, okay? I low-key found it cringy. Yep, I said it. I thought anime was cringy when I was in middle school. So I tried getting into it again because, like I said, I had friends in middle school who were obsessed with anime, try to get me into anime, but then there was cringiness surrounding it. What I mean by that is, you know, I had friends that would try to do the caramel Denson, if you guys remember that. I hang out with friends, we can hit them all, and they'll be doing that shit. And I'm like, oh my god, that is so embarrassing. I don't want to be associated with that. I know that's not fair to me, but keep in mind, this is 13-year-old me, so I didn't know any better. So yeah, I was embarrassed by it. I was embarrassed by like my friends being so like obsessed with anime and being very kawaii desu desu. As joke, I'm saying this in a joking way. It low-key really turned me off from it, especially since I would link up with other people who were just as obsessed and would dress up as certain anime characters all the time or act like certain anime characters all the time. Like an example would be L from Death Note. People be sitting like him and I'm just over here like, oh my god, please stop. That really turned me off from anime. Like I said, I thought it was super cringy culture. I did try again in high school. I was still hanging out with friends who were super obsessed. They would still act like certain anime characters. And I would be like, okay, you know, whatever, just that's how they are, you know. But I did have one dear friend who was like, hey, you know, I know anime is kind of weird to you, but there's this one anime that I really want you to read. It is the first like time, well, not the really first time, because I've read some manga, but not an entire volume of manga. I would just read like a little bit and I'm like, okay, you know, if my friend wants to show me something or if I was like interested, I'll read a little insert, and then that was really it. This friend of mine introduced me to Full Metal Alchemist and I fell in love. I was like, oh my god, you know, this is great. This is like around freshman year of high school. I read up to volume, I want to say, oh god, you know, it's been 10 years since freshman year. Volume 27? I could be wrong. I know it was in the 20s. I stopped there just because me and that friend kind of stopped talking. You know, we hung out with different friend groups for the rest of the high school years. So he was my plug for the manga. He would check it out and then I'd read it, or he'll have the books and I'll read it. So, you know, after we kind of stopped talking, I just left it there. But trust me, like I loved Full Metal Alchemist. As I stated in my Gaia video before, I actually named my avatar Full Metal Gothica, you know, obviously after Full Metal Alchemist. After, you know, freshman year, I stopped reading manga and I haven't really picked up on anime since then. Now, I still had friends that would pressure me into try to watching certain anime, but I was just like not feeling it, not into it. And I would always vouch for Western cartoons. I love Western cartoons. Flapjack, Avatar The Last Airbender, Samurai Jack, Amazing World of Gumball, just a lot of other Western cartoons. That's what I was mainly watching, and I just did not want anything to do with anime whatsoever. That was just not my thing. I was just like, nope, and all of my friends would get mad at me, and I'm like, dude, I don't care, get that cringy shit away from me, because the cringiness got worse. You would think the older you get, but the cringe fest was intense. And I was just like, I don't want anything to do with this. It mostly stayed that way for a very long time. Even after high school, I still had friends that would watch anime. My roommate, he actually watches anime, and not hardcore, but he actually has like good shows that he's very peculiar with his animes, and I realized about that myself as well. Like, if I'm gonna watch an anime, it has to be very particular I'm very picky with my animes. He started to kind of push me like, hey, you know, I know you're not really into anime, but I have some recommendations. And I was like, man, nah, I don't want to watch none of that shit. Until I met one of my friends in college, and she is a total weeb, okay? Like, she's 100% a weeb, but I love her to death. Her purse is like decked out in pins from anime characters. And I always like tease her about it, but she's cool, so she doesn't care. And then one day, the incident of when the Death Note movie came out, she's like, oh my god, we have to watch it. And I was like, oh, well, I never watched Death Note, so she's like, you never watched Death Note? And I was like, no. And she's like, oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I was like, bro, I just, like, me and anime, like, I just disassociated myself with it. I don't want to do shit with it. People are crazy. And she's like, no, you're crazy, because that anime is fucking awesome. I was there during the Death Note craze. That's why, you know, I was mentioning earlier, people were fucking sitting like L. See, I knew that part, you know, I knew that because of certain friends. And I'd be like, bro, like, people in my youth kind of ruined Death Note for me, so I just didn't want to know about it. And she's like, all right, let's do this. She wanted to do, like, a little experiment. She was like, okay, let's watch the Death Note movie together, because I want to know, since you've never seen the show, what your opinions are. And then obviously I've seen the show, so it'll be really cool contrast. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. We watched it. It was a hot mess. It was a shitty movie. 0 out of 10. I was like, ew, this movie fucking sucks, because the movie does fucking suck. I'm giving you an opinion of someone who hasn't seen the actual anime, and I was like, that was a hot mess of a movie. And then my friend was like, okay, awesome. Now that you've seen the movie, can we please watch the anime? And I was like, all right, fuck it. We'll watch it. We watched it, and honestly, I absolutely loved it. Death Note was so fucking good. But honestly, I'm not that upset that I didn't watch it back then when it was very popular. I'm actually kind of glad that I watched it as an adult, passing all through that hype mess. Because sometimes the hype train can kind of overdo it, and you're just kind of like, ugh. So I'm kind of glad I watched it after the hype train died off. I really enjoyed it. And then that kind of started the traction of me getting into anime. She was like, yo, I have other shit we can watch. And I was like, okay, cool, like what? So we watched partly Yuri on Ice. We didn't finish it. I think we were halfway through or almost done with it. We're college students, so it gets really hard when you have so many assignments due. But so far, I really loved it. I might have to rewatch it because it's been about a year now since we kind of left off. I'm definitely gonna tell her we can rewatch Yuri on Ice because I really enjoyed it. So then after Yuri on Ice, I finally kind of started getting interested, but I didn't know where to start. You know, I was kind of like, okay, well, I was kind of again. And then Twitter. I'm gonna bring up an argument that's really popular among like anime Twitter, and that's shitting on people who are just now getting into anime because of Twitter or because the internet thinks it's cool. Well, I disagree with that argument. I actually thank Twitter and all my friends on Twitter for getting me into anime again, because I would see all of my friends just tweet about Demon Slayer, Devilman Crybaby, and all this other stuff, and I'm just like, whoa, this looks pretty cool, or interesting think threads on these certain animes. I'm like, oh, this is interesting, this is pretty cool, this sounds awesome. And when I have friends or when I'm seeing it like kind of like pop off on Twitter, like, yeah, it does pique my interest. Twitter influenced me to get back into anime, Twitter and my friends. And I was just like, okay, cool, yeah. So, you know, I hit up Ruben and I was like, hey, and my boyfriend, Nate, there's these animes I want to watch. Let's do it. Let's watch it. That's really it, you know. Since then, I've watched Demon Slayer, which right now is my favorite anime, Yu Yu Hakusho. Oh my god, I love that show. Season 1 ending song, I love it. It's such a bop. I did kind of leave off on Yu Yu Hakusho. We're like halfway through the second season, just cause, you know, school stuff got in the way. And then we started watching Demon Slayer. I have a bad habit of watching shit and then I stop because I have other shit to do and I get distracted and I just never come back to it. But another one I have to continue watching is My Hero. I finished season 3 and I fucking love My Hero. Such a good show. You know, I started watching those and oh my god, it's so good. I freaking love anime now. Do I feel bad that I used to shit on the friends when I was a lot younger for like anime? Yeah, just cause like, you know, it is what it is. You know, when you're 13, when you're 14, 15, whatever, you know, you do cringy shit anyways, right? And I shouldn't have let that stop me from getting into anime. I was just such a hard ass when I was younger, and I wouldn't say stuck up, but I was just very like about a lot of things. Kind of wish I wasn't, because I feel like I missed out on a lot of shows just because I thought anime in general was really cringy. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still some really cringy animes. Oh yeah, and another show I forgot to mention that I just finished is Beastars. Beastars, I think this is how you say it. Nate and I finished that, and I actually really enjoyed it. You know, like I said, Twitter, like I saw on Twitter, I started trending, and a lot of people were like, "Is some Zootopia hentai?" And I was like, "What?" And then I saw some friends that were like defending it, like, "No, it's not a Zootopia hentai. Stop lying." And I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta watch it." And then we finished it like a few days ago, and I'm like. So yeah, I think it's just really cool that I'm slowly starting to get into anime again. I guess you can say I'm now into anime. I'm still very picky about my animes though. Like I still have friends that recommend me animes, and I'm just like, no. I just stick to Twitter. If I want a new show to watch, I'll just go on Twitter and see what my friends are tweeting about. And sometimes I'll be like, like right now a lot of my friends are tweeting about Hunter x Hunter. And I'm just like, I don't know. Whatever deems interesting to me, I'll watch it. Like after I finish My Hero and then I have to finish Yu Yu Hakusho, I actually want to watch Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, because believe it or not, even though I read 27 volumes of it 10 years ago, I have not seen the fucking anime for it. Ridiculous, right? Sad. Very, very sad. That's really my journey with anime. Not really anything crazy. Definitely wish I wasn't so judgmental about it when I was younger, but if you guys have any recommendations for any anime or manga to read, go ahead and comment down below. Also, let me know what your first anime was or your first manga was when you were younger. And if you've also had any cringy experiences with people or with anime / manga itself. I judged it when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I absolutely love it. I hope you guys are safe out there. Please take care, wash your freaking hands, don't touch your face. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell either, guys. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.